This was the strangest thing last night. I was so mad because I'm getting bullied on platforms again. I don't know. I don't know if somebody broke into my account. I have no idea. It's like there was some strange activity on your account. I go, oh, why does this always happen when I don't sign in for 24 hours? We know that people have my information and there's not a goddamn thing I could do about it. But anyway, at least I didn't get locked out. It was like trying to check something. It was strange. I go, they need to stop bullying me. They need to stop bullying me. These platforms, they need to stop. Here's a good example of why everybody's a piece of shit, and everybody's a piece of shit in this story. It is so strange that this popped up at the same time I was talking about what a narcissist Michael Sweet is, because Michael Sweet used to live nearby. So this is a case that was out in Orange County in 94, and I was talking about how he always goes out here and he's like, God blessed me. I was like, God did not bless you. That was my father and myself who like paid for your fucking career because we all support you, right? The fans do, right? And also, in addition to this, I had hired somebody else within that, group of people over there. And then I was just talking about some other people that owed people money, but they're all related to the family. And I was just thinking, like, how insufferable this guy is. I mean, out of everybody, I haven't heard any of the other people going on like this, but they might. But the main person that wants to make it known that he's like the richest guy in the room because God thinks he's special is Michael Sweet. And he moved out of the area because he was telling us all, he kept sending us letters in the mail. It's just not Christian enough here. And it was such a nightmare of fundamentalism in Orange County and through that area, wherever, Whittier, wherever. And he's just like, I'm taking off. It's just not godly. And like this thing, I was like, I cannot with this one. And some of the backstory with that, I guess, like a lot of the other members, like they don't have money like he does. But I haven't heard them say things like that. They may say things like, I've been blessed in my life or something stupid. But technically, what he's saying, when he's saying that he's so goddamn special that God blessed him with a fucking sports car. And that everybody else who has like a pinto wagon, is a pile of shit and God's punishing them. That is his mentality all the way. And I don't know what happened in that family unit. If like the mom like singled him out as something special, I have no idea. Or it was the opposite. I think they singled him out and kept telling him what a God's gift to the universe that he is. Some bullshit. Something happened because this case right here has it in it, except for the dynamic caused the victim to then turn into a perpetrator. And the thing that was so annoying, so I'm typing all this thing about Michael. All of a sudden, I have my TV on, right? And this thing goes, murders in OC, and then 94. And I go, oh, I was there. What was this? So I was like listening to it while I'm like going on. I go, how odd is this? Because it's at the same time, the exact same time during all this other stuff, right? And they start talking about the family unit. And I go, oh, here we go. It's going to be a child abuse case. He's going to murder the entire family. There you go. He did. And when they're talking to people on here, the people in this area were atrocious. So they fake present, like they'll talk to them on, TV and be like, God, nothing bad's ever happened here and nothing, all these things. Everybody's so wholesome. I don't know. They'll do this bullshit. But in the background, they were targeting the shit out of me, calling me slut, whore, where's your man? We don't want you here. This is the truth of those type of people, okay? It was really bad out in the OC. And it was one of those things that I had to deal with because of these religious lunatics. So when they start talking on TV, they start, placing themselves as these like really good moral people. Then one of the ladies, I don't know if she's a neighbor or she's a sheriff, I don't know. But she's like, in all these families, there's these kids that, they have favoritism type of thing, right? I go, here we go, child abuse. For some reason, it goes right over their head. And I go, yeah, I had this dynamic and it was really bad. Like the whole MO was to bully and target me as a kid. And it wasn't me being violent. It was my brother and everybody else. I never thought to take my brother out because I'm a smart kid and I actually know how it happened. I go, I know who to blame. The people to blame in this thing is my mom, my dad, and my grandmother. Those three people did this. And so their actions actually were seen by my little brother growing up. So now he's unfixable. Okay, so he thinks he's special and I'm somehow bad. So they continually enforce this messaging, okay? In this case right here, it's actually kind of the same thing. So they were abusing the son. They kept yelling at him. You do not yell at kids. They were saying they heard the dad screaming at the son. At no time did you call CPS on that, because this could have been totally avoided. This is what I'm talking about. This case was perfect because I go, this is what I'm talking about. But when they're talking, the people in the thing that are going, we're so like shocked that he did something like this. I go, okay, but you're normalizing child abuse. You literally just normalize child abuse. And I just said it's a massive crisis. It's happened all over the place when they're going, yeah, everybody has this going on in their family. Yes, and you're all sociopaths. Exactly. That's what we're talking about. Like, are we in disagreement? They just don't want to see that as child abuse. It is child abuse, you idiots. And so at some point in this family dynamic, they just kept they gave more love to the other son. Now, they could have been some other things in the case. I would have to talk to the perpetrator and go, what exactly happened here, dude? That they probably kept saying how perfect the other son was and how come he's not as great as him. Because this happened in our family, and I'm sure it's happening a lot. That's child abuse, by the way. No two kids should be alike anyway. And for me to be compared to a guy is just unreal. But this dynamic was going on, and so the father started yelling at the son, right? And so at what point are they showing love and affection and care for this guy? No, it's just not present, right? Because this is all that kid knows. So this is how a sociopath comes about. It's one of the ways, okay? One of the ways. So we've looked at different dynamics in these families where they're promoting their kids to be violent. This one is more of what it appears from the information that we got, that they were yelling and screaming and degrading him. And so he's taking it out. So he has mental health issues now because of it. He allegedly went and set fires to a house or some other crap, right? The police didn't even arrest him for it, okay? This was totally 94. 94, like you could literally get beat up in front of a cop and the cop's like, oh, that woman deserved it. We're not going to put that on your record. They totally did this. So even at my house, when they knew I got assaulted and that was what the call was for, they're like, we don't want your dad mad. So we're going to make sure this guy doesn't have a criminal record. This happened here in this case. Really bad. So the portions where he should have gotten, the reason why he should have gotten in trouble, because then he might have got some help, but I don't think they would have approached this properly anyway, and it still would have been fucked and too late and everything. But so the family keeps degrading that son. They keep abusing that son. They treat him like an outcast. He's doing this. So he has no love, care, nothing, no connection to them at all. And he's probably totally had it up to here with the brother because they kept going, oh, he's the perfect son. The other one, I'm sure. That's why he has this hatred. So he has no connection to anybody. Everybody hates him. So the next thing he does, he's like, I'm just going to kill them off and take their money. Like, that's a secondary part of the story. It's not the main part of the story. So let's say he didn't even do that. He would have gone through life raping everybody, being a piece of shit, being a criminal, taking shit out on everybody, because he's just kind of reflecting his father's thing there, like, I hate you, I don't, whatever bullshit was going on there. But again, the neighbors, when you heard them yelling, did you call CPS? This is my question. No, they did not. This is 94 through and through. The fundamentalist Christians that were across the globe, okay? So, and then they said it's normal. I go, no, that's not normal. That's child abuse. And they literally put this on TV, okay? I just saw it last night. And I was like, oh my God, can you get these people off here? I cannot deal with it. So they can't comprehend why he would do that? Oh, I can. And I was like, oh shit. So he goes and he kills the parents and then kills the brother because he has vitro. They don't connect. They don't like him. So he's like, fuck it. Life is shitty. Like this is the outlook of somebody that comes out of a family like that. And it's a lot in these rich families. These rich families are terrible because they use a lot of money, control, and power, such as government does on all of us, right? So imagine a family that has a lot of money and how much they use it to abuse their children. Terribly. Terribly. Trust that. My dad be trying to do that shit too, and he's not even hella rich, okay? So I was like, oh, fuck no. So then they'd sit there and go, he's just a spoiled brat and he just wanted money and that's why he did it. I go, nobody does that just because they want money, okay? That's not what happened. So there was an initial story to it and it was totally avoidable and you guys could have helped out and you didn't. You thought it was totally normal to abuse kids in 1994. Absolutely. So it's not very much different probably than the Menendez case, whereas the parents were abusing them and then they took it out. And like I said, I keep pull up that Spacey case. I go, because the son said he wanted to kill the father, but he's telling you the rationale to it. And it wasn't crazy at all. I mean, the father's like literally trying to sexually abuse him. And so what is a kid's out, right? So it's something that is created very young, and by the time that this guy was already at this age, it was like too late. It was like way too late. So anyway, this is what this sociopath chose to do. Not all sociopaths are going to choose to do this, because not all of them have a tank of money in their family, right? So for whatever reason, this one did that. This is not a good business move. If your kid is acting in any which way like this, please stop it now. Because you may think it looks cute at age, whatever, very young. It's not cute when it gets to this age, okay? On other people. And they're so uneducated, the public. And it's like I'm just sitting at this case going, they didn't not once say child abuse. It's child abuse. That's what we're talking about. And I go, oh, and then now government's like, we're so confused why all these kids are depressed at this. It must be fucking iPhones. It must be. And it's just like, and it reminded me right back to Jeffrey Dahmer's dad. There's just this weird disconnect of being an idiot. But then they're not idiots because you have to know that this is child abuse. So then there was a take of other cases on top of this, like beyond this one, where there was obvious abuse from men on the woman, but the woman has problems. So it's not like okaying the woman's problems. It's like the dude's an abuser. And then government's over here. We don't see any sign of abuse. And they show this video of the guy like pushing her around and shit. And then he's like degrading her basically. And then she has emotional problems because of it. And she probably has more emotional problems because of her Mormon parents. She had Mormon parents that were so like out of touch. It was crazy. Anyway, she had problems, okay? But no, he was abusive. And then there was another, I think it's the sister of the victim. I don't know who it was because it looked like the victim. I think it was the sister. Anyway, she's like, yeah, he walked by her and he slashed her arm one day, something. And they put it like as this side thing, like way later, so you don't like really think about the story properly. And they try to paint the guy as this innocent saint to a woman. I go, that's not what happened. That is not what happened, but that's how they presented the story. The woman is an evil manipulator, and the guy is this innocent saint that got manipulated by this guy to go slash this girl up. I go, oh no, that's not what happened. What I think would happen in that story was, just as I just said, where he was emotionally abusing her, and her home life is like, what the fuck? And she probably was jealous because he's actually the manipulator in that portion right there. Because he's making her feel insecure. And then he's cheating on that girl, which they didn't find out till later, right? But it wasn't with the girl that they killed. And I don't know if the girl that they killed, because they grew up together, the guy and the other girl, that he had a lot of emotional attachment to her. And he hated her so much because they weren't together anymore. And like she hurt him so badly that he went out and he wanted to just annihilate her. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't a thing where she's like going, hey, Jay, go kill her off. She's like probably with it because of this whole dynamic right here. It's a little more complex than they're going on. But it's basically him who's a socio. They showed his picture right away and they're like, he looks like the average basic school guy that you wouldn't think anything of. And the minute I saw him and his dad, I'm like, oh, hell no, monsters. Exactly. And it's men presenting the story, right? Men are presenting the story and it's totally false. It's not proper. I'm like, that guy looks scary as hell. and they were saying he was like a bully. I go, yeah, we could tell right away. And they painted him as an innocent victim to this other woman. I go, this is not going on. So it's also fueling gender-based violence on us all. And that girl is a hot mess too. She is. Okay, so it isn't that. It's just that they looked at a video of him being abusive and other people were saying that he was abusive. And they kept saying, we see no sign of abuse. I'm like, nope, that's ridiculous. So they're all abusers. If those guys are saying that and they're looking at that and they're like, we don't see abuse, they are abusers too. Okay, I'm done for today. That was really annoying.